These machines look more intimidating than what they actually are. They're actually pretty simple to function. The power here, simply touch the screen. It fires up, I'm sorry. And I'm not sure which cycles you guys are going to be running, but it's really actually pretty simple. You just hit on the working cycle. And right now we got the program choice is standard. If you want to change that, simply touch standard. Pick whichever cycle you want to run. And like for example, we can do this custom cycle that's built in there. And that's just how you change it. Again, you just simply touch on. This is the program. Choose which program you want. We're going to go back to standard. Okay? So we got confirmed. I'm going to close the door. And it's the close and open door buttons are pretty, easy to see and function. You just simply touch the button and let it go, and the door opens. If by chance while you're running a cycle and you get an alarm, we're going to create an alarm. Alarm appears up in the left-hand corner. You can touch that, and it tells you what the alarm is. We got the auxiliary alarm, which is the e-stop button. Alarm number 6, auxiliary alarm. That's in your manual. I believe you have all the manuals, please.
Yeah, they were turned over to facilities, but I'll make sure you guys have them too.
There's an electronic version that can be distributed.
There is. Yale has a copy, but we can help you out with that. Yep.
So before you can reset the alarm, you notice I'm pushing reset, it's not resetting. Before you can reset it, you have to fix the anomaly. You have to say, well, what's the alarm? In this case, we just created one. Simply, I say simply. Setting. There we go. I fixed the reason for the alarm. It resets. That's pretty much how you determine what the alarm is, and by simply again touching on alarm shows you what it is. You go, oh, okay. You fix what the issue was, and then you're able to reset the alarm. So there's really not much more to this. We're going to close the door, and we can simply just run a cycle. I'm going to go through the different screens that are available to you as an end user. Just so you can kind of see and familiarize yourself. Some screens, I'm going to warn you up front, some screens have a tremendous amount of information on them, which most people will look at and go, oh my God, what is all this stuff? Don't worry about it. I'm going to show you. So, to start a cycle, we're going to run the standard, we're going to confirm it, and then we're going to simply hit start. And go through a waiting period here. The first thing all these machines do, all the Steelco machines, the first phase of any cycle is a drain. We want to make sure it's drained out. And as you can see now, it's filling up with water. And this is the screen I was referring to. There's just a ton of information on it. And it's like, wow, it's almost overwhelming, isn't it? Yes. You want to get rid of that screen? Hit program. A little more simple to understand what's going on here. And this is the screen that I, as a technician, I prefer to be looking at personally, because I can see exactly which phase it's in. So it's in the pre-wash phase. It's actually filling up with water. And once it gets filled up with the, it's like 7.9 gallons for this phase. Once it fills up, it's just going to start the pump. We're gonna have a couple pulses. We pulse the pump in our machines just to try and get all the air out of the lines and stuff out of the piping. And then the pump should turn on and run continuously for whatever the set amount time is, which in this case it's 120 seconds, which is, thank you, it's 2 minutes. And then I'm just going to go through the drain. Okay, this one didn't pulse, that's fine. So this is the pre-wash phase, which you want to sit and watch this. You can not, on this one, some cycles will allow you to force the phase, and you can skip a phase if you wanted to. In this particular situation, force is not an option for us, but that's what the force button is. We can touch the status and go back to all that confusion. Go back to the program. We can hit trend. This is a graph, which honestly I rarely, if ever, look at this screen. Back to the program. This is a what we call a synopsis of the machine. You can pretty much see that the tank's filled up, the pump's running. This is your demi tank, your DI water tank. You can see that it's full. It's actually heating up. This is your dryer fan. These are your doser pumps. This is stuff that's not as confusing as the other screen, but it's some good information if you want to look at it and study it, and you can kind of figure out what's going on. We can end it. We go back out to the main screen. If you ever hit the button and you get to this screen, it's just simply hit the working cycle. Really not much more to it than that. The detergents, once we get them calibrated, once I have the time to get this all set, this is the key to open the door. Ideally, and it just got through the pre-wash phase, ideally those containers are going to fit down here, but I'm not so certain about the bigger containers. This is where the detergents are going to be stored. These are the wands or the level switches. These are the pickup tubes and the level switches. And if we can break this alarm or not while it's running. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so could
Can you select not to use detergent, because I know some labs don't use detergent.
You can. You can, yeah. In fact, I set their machines up over there not to.
No detergent.
Yeah, correct. We're talking the small under-the-counter washer on the other side of this wall, and then over in the
Aquatics.
aquatics.
We're gonna need to, so maybe what we need to do is to set up one of these machines for no detergent, and those of you who wash dishes, who don't want to use detergent, should use that machine forever extensively. Yeah.
Sure. That might work.
Let me know which machine you want me to set up that way, and we can certainly do that.
And quote this time, but this machine is.
Okay. When I come back to do the detergents, who's the boss?
That's the problem, there is the data, who's the boss.
Okay. I'll try and recognize the face and grab somebody and say, okay, let's go deal with this machine that you don't want detergent on.
I'm using that. Yeah, I mean, it's still let her, you just get nominated. Oh, shit, no.
So I come find you? Is that the gentleman? It's we're in America, it's a democracy.
That's right.
Yeah, it's you. Sorry.
Wow.
Majority rules.
You got made the boss today. Yeah.
So I'm going to show you a warning. Not an alarm. I'm going to show you a warning. And I'm sorry, your name?
I'm Carol.
Carolyn.
Carol.
I'm going to create because I can't reach it. So you mind stepping up? So right now there's a warning on it. Go ahead and touch warning. Top left corner.
Highest warning.
What's it tell you?
Low level, product 1 and 2. Oh my gosh.
It's the world just tipped on its axis,
That's right.
and we're gonna tip it back.
And all is okay.
And all is okay. All is right with the world. It's,
Do I have anything to?
nope,
moves on?
that's it, it just moves on.
Okay.
So, the point of that is there are gonna be some things that are warnings that, you should typically be able to, it's not gonna stop the cycle, it's not gonna create the thing to stop in its tracks. Most warnings, I don't wanna say all warnings, I just wanna, in case there's a warning in here that causes it to stop, I don't wanna say all warnings, but it should be all warnings, should not cause it to stop the cycle. So, that's,
Do you have any thoughts about what the knocking is?
that is steam, it's called a steam hammer. This thing hasn't been ran, I've been down here in a month and a half, and I ran all these machines all day long when I was here. With them sitting idle, any steam system, with it sitting idle, once you start moving steam through it, things start heating up and expanding. It's basically,
Just the first load or two?
it should be just the first load.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just the normal noise before the first load. If it keeps doing that, then it's falling off.
Yeah, if it keeps doing that, call maintenance. But it really shouldn't. Yeah, it just shouldn't.
Already getting better.
Sorry?
It's already getting better.
Yeah, it's just, for those of you that are old enough that remember steam radiators, they used to do the same thing during the winter. They'd knock, until they got heated up. That's just, and again, that's just the metal. Just the metal. So, we went over warnings, we went over alarms. Everybody's comfortable with how to acknowledge it, just by simply touching the alarm or the warning button that's illuminated at the top left corner.
Alright, so I see you have, what you're calling what it's doing right now is treatment.
Correct, and we can
And
name
then-
that whatever you want. We can name it donuts. We can name it
I
washing.
mean, I don't know if you care as long as you know that, so presumably the first treatment would be the wash if you're using soap. And then maybe the next treatment would be the domestic water rinse.
We could, yeah, I'm not sure if
You're
it's,
not sure how you set these up?
well, I'm certain how to do it. It's just I don't know, without going through the cycle, I don't know what water they're using for this, what water they're using for that. You guys have DI here, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know which ones are which, unless I go into the cycle, which I can certainly do, but not while it's like the.
Right.
So I can go into the standard program and see exactly what's in there. So like for example, I think we're in the first treatment.
Yep.
First treatment, we're using 7.9 gallons. It's calling for alkaline, which is dose of pump one. We're going 0.65% of whatever the water is. So we got 7.9 gallons. So we're not even put 1% in of whatever 7.9 gallons is actually what that's going. And we're using warm water. So and we can certainly it would take a while, but we can certainly do that. We can go through and name each phase of the cycle so you know that like warm wash or if whatever you choose to name it.
Is that useful for you? To
You know-
have something more plain English on the front
So
screen?
there's a warm water again. Okay, here's your demi water. So this is whatever phase this was. Phase 8 is and as you can see, they're all cold treatment, but this is
Right.
actually the phase that's using demi water.
But
And we
heavy
can-
water
we
needs
can-
to be ionized.
We can rename it. We can rename it rinse demi or whatever.
DI rinse.
Yeah, DI rinse. And we
And
can-
we just let the old machines say, and therefore it will be familiar for
Sure, sure, and we can go through each cycle in each phase and go, it's just time consuming. But we can certainly set time aside to do that. Absolutely.
So how long would it now take this to wash the glass water?
I don't know, it all depends on the utilities and stuff. If I was to guess, it's just a guess,
Yeah.
let's say half an hour, maybe 45 minutes.
Oh, really?
Something, just a guess. I don't know without running it, without,
that long.
is that long? that's a long time?
Well, that's the old one machine was like, I don't know, 10 minutes and was done. Yeah,
Really, they gave you a wash
Well-
and 2 rinses?
yeah.
Okay.
This one
For example-
is 45 minutes. It's, in my opinion, it's too long. Doesn't
Well,
make sense.
well, we can certainly copy these. I can't modify any of the basic cycles, but I can copy the basic cycles and put them somewhere else in the software into the custom cycles, and we can modify stuff till the cows come home. And we can shorten stuff up. So this is that screen that's fairly confusing with all the information.
Yep.
One of the good pieces of information you can get off this is you can see that it's programmed for 360 seconds, which is 6 minutes. So this is a 6-minute wash right here, and it tells you how much we're lacking, how much we haven't counted down. We can tell you how much we've counted, of that 360 seconds of that. So we can certainly copy these and paste them somewhere else, and we can tweak things and make them however you want. Actually, I can.
45 minutes,
Yeah.
it's too long.
No, I don't
you
know.
got so many laps and wait.
Well, I
45
suppose, but here's the thing is, what we need to know is how long how long is your wash cycle on your other machine over there, because
Yeah, like I
that's
said.
probably what should really drive it, is how long are you running water through your glassware. You don't want to cut that down, because then the labs may be unhappy with the result that they get.
Sure. And again, we can build the cycles however you want.
Right, but if you're doing a 3-minute wash cycle and 2-minute rinse cycles, that
Like this one, got 2
is that what-
minutes.
2
yeah,
minutes.
Yeah.
So my guess would be if we
Actually,
shorten.
it's like two. Okay, wash 2 minutes, and then after that, 2 times it's 2 times 2 minutes.
Okay.
Rinse that. And it's almost like.
Now, does that 30 to 45 minutes include a dry cycle?
Yeah, that would
See,
be
that will include drying time.
from beginning to
And
end.
you're not getting drying over there. Now the question is, do you need drying? Because if you don't care about the drying, you can shorten the cycle that way too.
Absolutely.
I don't know because I never got before. I know Laura, she got something like this machine in the Vicky.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and she say,
Over an SCL?
yeah.
Yeah, except that's just a washer. She has to transfer things to the dryer to dry them. And that may be where you're speeding up your throughput, is by
Knocking out the drive.
not knocking out the dry
Yeah.
and using a dryer. Now, I don't think you use a dryer in any of the labs you use service.
And again, it's your guys' preference. You
Right.
guys are the owners. If you want,
So what you
wanna
may want
knock out
to do
the
is
dryer,
to
we
try
can-
it and see what that does to your throughput. And if you find that you're not getting enough done in a day, then we can talk about taking the dry cycle.
you guys should have access to that, and it's in the manual how to copy and paste cycles, and I can go over it with you.
So as long
And
as you
then,
can find a copy of the manual, then you hand it over to somebody.
and then you guys can modify your cycles
Yeah.
from cows come home.
Yeah.
And build them however you want. I could certainly, that should be part of this training.
And are these password protected?
They are password protected, but there's different levels of access.
Right.
So
Because
there's
presumably
also.
you don't want to risk having somebody come in and change
Got that
your.
behind you? That's the manual up there.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a hard
Look
copy.
at that.
look at that.
So,
There's your
Instruction
manual.
manuals.
so Carol, I don't know if you want to leave these here. I mean, all the digital ones should have gone out. If they won't, I'll make sure they go out to everybody. But if you want a hard copy next to the machine,
I'm
we can just do
thinking
that.
this is the place to leave a hard copy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would probably have a book page or something to stick them in, or
Okay, you keep them.
something like that.
Yeah.
If you could attach it to the wall. This is the instruction manual for these washers, and
Okay.
we could certainly go through and practice copying and pasting cycles if you want.
Yeah.
Is this on? This one's on. I'm not sure what your guys' access level is, what the password is, kind of about digging through this. I just memorized my own. But it should be in here. It's taking longer to.
Why don't you just go and use yours to
Yep.
demonstrate what
So,
you're proposing for us to do?
While this one's running, I believe it's in the setup menu. We go to programs. So like, for example, we're running a standard there, correct? So we can take this, it's pretty simple actually. Does somebody want to do it? And I just walk you through it, that way it's, for me it works best if I'm trying to learn something and I got a plan. So you hit standard and then you copy it. And then you go to free programs. And then you touch one that's not used, or you can go over to custom.
So this is 15, 16,
Yep.
17, 18.
Correct, somebody's got something in 18 for some reason, but I would touch 16 or whatever, whichever one you want. And then,
Standard, yes.
there it is.
There it is.
Now you just copy that from here, and you put it over there. It's the same cycle. And now, if you want to,
What is the short program?
I'm not sure if it'll let you modify it, maybe it will.
So that's 3, 2, and 1. So the short program is a 3-minute wash, one 2-minute rinse, and one 1-minute rinse.
2 minutes today.
So you may find that that's a standard program that will work for you.
Yeah, it will be good.
And now, this may, I stand corrected, this may let you modify that.
It's probably good to copy them over first in case
I
you want to
would.
go back to them.
Exactly, I would.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So for example, you just moved over or copied over to standard. So we're gonna modify it. And actually, we can rename it if you want. Standard 2. How about that?
Just have to remember what's the logic of the display.
Correct. And it kind of keeps it, I didn't say it. Enter. Standard symbol for enter, universal symbol. So, and then every time you make a change, I'm a save-aholic. So when I make changes, I'm saving, so I don't lose it. So if I didn't save that, the rename, I would lose it. So again, the first phase of any, as soon as you start it, is always a drain. So we got a pre-wash here. We're using 7.9 gallons the time. To me, pre-wash, we could probably knock that down to 60 seconds.
Well, so what they're doing to start with is wetting all of the glassware with cold water, just to make sure that you've got a wet surface.
Yeah, and to rinse off any residual whatever. And like, for example, I just took that down to, from 120 seconds down to 60 seconds. Just saved a minute, right?
Yeah.
And again, I'm a save-aholic, so we just went from 120 down to 60. You touch over here on the red, on the name of it, you're gonna change what that phase is. I just took it out, there's a rinse, drying.
I'm sorry, you're deleting steps?
No, you can't delete it.
Or you're just reordering it, you're like dumping?
No. Let me say that again. So if I touch, this is the parameters for this pre-wash phase.
Yep.
If I touch pre-wash, it changes that phase, meaning it changes the name of it. Okay, so now I just change it to a rinse.
So
Okay.
at this point, I see, so at this point, you're sort
I'm
of
just
basically
scrolling
cycling,
through.
you're
I'm
scrolling through some presets.
Correct. So this is a pre-wash. So back into the parameters of the pre-wash.
Yep.
I never play with this. This is what they worked out at the factory. I never really play with that. All I do is change the time on that.
Yep.
So then it goes into a drain after some of that. We go to treatment. You go, okay, we're using warm water, 7.9 gallons. We're going to inject chemical 1, the alkaline. We're putting 6.65% of the 7.9 gallons. And the temperature is going to be 140 degrees, so we're going to heat it up to 140 degrees. Then we start counting down, but we can also change the time. We can change.
Presumably we can change that alkaline to no if we want this to be.
Right there.
Even though soap.
Correct, and all you do is touch it. That's all you do. So
You're just toggling back and forth.
that's it. I mean, it's really, once you get into it and you start playing with it, It's really not difficult. It really, really, truly isn't. And you guys, again, all this is in the manual. It's really, once you find it in here, it's really easy to follow. And
I need color, I know, you're gonna be color.
And Karen, I'm just giving you guys a crash course on this.
Yes.
This is really basic stuff.
Because this is really helpful for you. You see you walk through it once.
Sure,
And I remember, oh yeah, there was some way to do that.
And I'm going to give you my number, my name and my number. If you got any questions, call me.
Okay.
The internet in here is just, for me, it's, you guys, sure, it's fine. For me, it's very frustrating because I can't get phone calls or the internet here. But where I'm going with that is, if you guys do have smooth access to internet, which I suspect you do, and you have an iPhone, I could FaceTime you. And you can go, no, Jay, this is what I'm looking at. I go, oh, well, here, touch this, touch that. If I can't figure it out, I'll just schedule time to come down. That's all. It's really.
Yeah, I have both bars and Wi-Fi in here.
Yes. You're a very fortunate individual. So that's pretty much how you modify a cycle. So we could take that cycle down to, we could probably cut it down to almost 10 minutes if we really wanted to.
Yeah,
But I would encourage you guys to.
But I think you should at least, I think it makes sense to shorten the wash and the rinses, but I would leave the dry in to see, as I say, what it does to your throughput.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe good.
And in doing so, again, I would copy the cycle you want to modify, paste it somewhere else and play with it there.
Yeah.
Leave the standard cycles from the factory, if you can, alone. Or if you want to play with them, play with them. That's good.
There's space in there for 2 dozen programs. I think
Yeah.
that there's enough space.
Absolutely. Any questions on changing parameters? It's really pretty simple, actually. If I can do it, it's pretty simple. So,
I'm gonna, okay, because I'm gonna
Um,
try it now. Go ahead.
I have a question about the blue one. This is for what? This thingy.
I want to say,
For what?
And this is
That's
something-
not moving. That's not.
no, I think it's for the, and again, Bob would be able to answer this better than I can.
I wouldn't think so. but
I believe that's just setting the height of how deep your glassware is. I believe that's all. I believe that's what it's about. Bob.
Question on the spindles.
This is for what? The blue one.
Okay.
Is that to set the depth of the glassware?
The glassware. So there's that little spring on the bottom, and then you can raise or lower it except the depth of your glassware.
Okay.
Yep. That's exactly right.
What else? There's not much more. Good.
Well, that's, I'm just curious. You say there's 1 or 2 products that,
I'm not sure what you have there. You and I can touch
The
later.
alkaline and the acid version.
Okay. Where are we putting, which one's alkaline? This is the alkaline, this is the acid?
Yep.
Where
No,
we
acid's 2. Alkaline's 1.
Is there 2 jugs in there?
Yeah, there's 2 jugs in each one.
Okay, all right, you just answered my question. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way that's fitting down there.
No.
Okay, got it.
so given that most of these folks are using standard dishwashing version, how do they know which one they want to use?
So we can make some suggestions based on what they're washing. Regular dishwashing detergent doesn't work with this.
I mean, you know when I say regular dishwashing detergent, I don't mean which line versus.
Okay.
I mean glass dishwashing
Yes.
detergent.
What you
I
could
don't
think-
have to know what brand you use.
Yeah, we have a matrix, so if you want to, I'll give you my card to send it, but if you want to send me or you want to send me a lesson when you're a lot, you basically have going down to you do a chemistry or biology. And
Well, as it turns out, there's a number of these lands don't use soap at all. You know, high pressure water.
exactly, so some of it's going to be no detergent, some of it is going to be alkaline, but then we're neutralizing the waste with the acid. So that's really a lot of times what the acid's for. It's not to wash the glass for, it's to neutralize the effluent.
So the alkaline is probably the biological, and the acid would be chemist.
Or to neutralize the alkaline water.
We can't put nothing down the drain that's acidic, so we have to bring it back to neutral. Or as close to neutral as possible. And actually, these machines actually have I don't mean to talk over you, I apologize. And these machines actually have a pH meter on them,
Okay.
so, right there. So
Yeah,
it's,
you can give us some information on the detergents that maybe even some of these labs will change their minds about whether they want, if there may be specific reasons why they wouldn't want to show it before. They might want to use it for something.
And you know what, some people still just say, you know, I just want to wash with water, with stuff that they can't wash, and the water, take care of everything.
yeah, and actually, Bob, that's all I set those other two machines up. They didn't want no
Yeah, because the
chemicals.
products, I don't want anything.
Yeah, yeah. And
Super, thank you very much.
And these guys were wanting one of these 4 machines set up the same way with no detergents. But as I was explaining to them, you can build your own cycle to where there's no detergents. You can say,
Correct.
don't give me anything. So,
I had 2 labs who asked not to use the soap, so.
and again, we could just as I showed you on this display here, you could certainly build a cycle to where there's no detergents.
And if they're worried about detergents, but they know they have to use them, we can do multiple final rinses so that we make sure that there's no residue left. I mean, these are designed so that there is no residue left, but like sometimes with aquatics tanks, people want to have to do multiple final rinses just to be sure there's no residue left.
Yeah, they got fish, so.
So we're about to enter the drying phase of this. And as you can see, we got it for 1,020 seconds, which is, what's that? It's 10
minutes or
yeah,
something.
something like that. And
Divided by 6.
well, 600 will give you 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So we got another 4 on top of that, so it's another 5 minutes, so that's 15. We got 16, 17 minutes of drying.
So,
And that's just coming from a lowly mechanic guy. I just whipped that up. I think I'm gonna go take a nap after this.
you probably deal with numbers more than we do.
Perhaps. In these machines, and it's just a settable parameter, what we do is we start the exhaust fan or the drying fan. We start off slow, and we'll let it run for, this is probably set up for 120 seconds, just to get most of the moisture and stuff out. And then after that, you'll hear this thing kick on like a jet engine. And yeah, we're just
Yeah, so
gonna.
maybe there's no 5 minutes of drying or breathing.
Yeah, and these usually dry pretty good. They're actually pretty solid machines when it comes to every function of it, as far as washing. They're high impedance washers, so with the aquatics not running any detergents, I'm comfortable that their glassware tanks are getting clean. Because these are high impingement washers. They're not what we call in the industry low impingements, where it's just basically nice, easy washing action. Yeah, these are pretty simple machines. Once you get used to using them, again, that's a very confusing. Lots of information there that is helpful, but you're looking going, oh my God, that's just really loud.
Yeah, well, there was same problem with the autoclave. When I saw the autoclave, I said, oh, God, so many problems, so many.
There is, but
Yeah, you're going to use like 2.
same thing on the wash. You're gonna use like two cycles. It's just.
Because maybe what we do is we build you your one and you name it Ava.
And we can. You certainly can. You can name it Ava's cycle or
I did,
on the Primus. Good. I mean,
and I put up my password, so nobody can change my program.
and I believe we can do the same thing on this. We can lock it out.
Oh,
where-
really?
I believe so. I have to look in the book. I believe we can do that on the hack note. Yeah, that's what I thought. And as you can hear, the drying fan is starting to kick up. We use an inverter on it, and it's pretty reliable machine. You got anything about it? Anybody have any questions?
It's the switch up now. It's the on-off switch for the machine.
This here? This is the chitty chitty bang bang switch.
Sorry, it's been a long time since I read the book.
Yes, that's the on-off switch. the emergency door opening, we should probably go over that. This is, actually, let me
So you
see.
need to have a key to.
You do need to have a key. And if memory serves me right, the e-stop button has to be pushed. So let me, we can run it.
Yeah. Or just, yeah.
Alright. So we hit the e-stop button. That's it. Yeah. It's not often I use this feature either because it's rare that you have to, but I don't believe it will work without some sort of anomaly going on. So again, we just want to reset that one and touch that. We just reset it. Close it. See, it doesn't work. And if I close it, I think it will let me open it, and it will not. You notice that it has to be some sort of, and typically that something is equated with or in conjunction with this. So now we want to open it. So this will not work unless there's some sort of anomaly, and you have to hit the e-stop
And
button.
close while the stop is in effect.
Correct.
I
Correct.
just want to see it do it.
Yeah. What's that?
I just want to see it do it.
Like this?
Now I want you to put the stop back on.
Okay.
Close it.
Oh, close it?
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry. Yes, it will close with the, yes. This is the override. We're completely bypassing the safety features and everything on this by doing this. And that's,
Because unfortunately, what I expect to happen is 10 years from now,
that key will be gone
well, no,
or
something-
broken off in there.
or something won't be working, and somebody needs to get the officials out.
Do you want to reset the alarm? Just so you know? No? Did you want, I'm sorry. Anybody else want to reset the alarm? No. Okay.
These are nicer touchpads than the ones on the consolidated on the line. They're much more sensitive. We had to teach people how to use
Consolidated?
the consolidated touchpad because you had to be very firm. And
Yeah,
slow.
yeah, it's the Allen Bradley's.
Probably.
It's the Allen Bradley screens, and they are not near as soft as these. No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
These actually are more like your smartphone.
Yeah, that's great comparison. So, this is a screen again with all the information, and as we can see, it's counting down. We got another 10 minutes to stand here and enjoy each other's company,
Now,
or
is
unless
there-
somebody has questions.
Is there a way to abort the cycle?
They're not on this particular one. There is not.
Okay. Not to do that. You can't stop. No.
I mean, I could do a hard reset on it, which is basically turn the machine off, turn it back on.
But no, basically, if you suddenly realize that you don't have time to wait for the full dry or whatever, I think what you're gonna have to do is get your e-stop and open the door with your hand. That's the nice thing out there.
Correct, but this, I don't know why the force button's not available to me. You got any ideas?
I was looking at that the other day, I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, typically, as you can see, there's a word force here. There's a force button here. It's not illuminated, it's grayed out. I don't have the option to, I'm gonna have to ask.
I guess that's something that we
I'll put
can
in
have you,
a request to Georgia.
Yeah.
look into whether that's something we can order.
No, it's on our.
Yeah,
It
it's-
wasn't in the spec that way.
So typically, we should be able to force the cycle or force the phase.
Okay.
But we can do either one. And again, usually it's there. And I can't answer you as to why it's not there right now. I'll have to get an answer
But it
from.
works for me, that the feature is there, but right now it's not.
Correct. If you need to get it open, you get a D-stop button in. But then it should. Let's try it. You want to try it? You want me? Put it right in.
So that shuts it off, and
Yep.
then we can open it.
Correct.
It's designed to just in its normal washing that the cycle set up properly. That's why there's so many standard cycles in here.
Now, then I guess the interesting question is, right, so,
Because I mean, we were just discussing how, like,
That one went wrong. Oh, I see. Just twisting. Just a little bit. Perfect. Yep.
it says the loading door is open. Now, why don't you like it?
Because you're in the middle of a cycle.
The question is that
It's still going to alarm because it thinks it's in a cycle.
Okay.
So it really
Yeah,
just
no,
has to
no,
do
no,
with how
no,
dirty
no,
the
I
password
understand.
is. But if it's yeah, that's why we have a short medium and long cycle or whatever you call it. So they some people find that they don't need to run the short.
Oh my God. I like my old one.
Alright, so,
That's for sure.
I would think so. And then,
like I said, I
what I'm gonna do.
this would be an emergency procedure, it's not what you want to do already.
Correct, correct.
That's really what it comes down to.
and it, because these are for the entire.
Nope, you're already there. Just what you said.
I thought I had to,
Well, because you're already in the screen.
got it.
And now it's gonna start the ticker all over. And again, typically that force button is available to us. Why it's not, I don't know why. I have to either dig into the book or see which parameter that is. Sure it's a sellable parameter.
But I'm sure that that's something that's varying at levels that we don't want to go.
Correct.
The we don't want to
Correct.
go. We would like you to go there.
Correct. It'll be on me. So that's the standard cycle. I'm just gonna go see if I can find it. Yeah, might be right around
Yeah, the drying cycle.
Okay. So, would you say that that's basically the training for this
I would say
machine?
that's pretty much the training, unless, of course, anybody has any questions. And I'm gonna give you my, you want my number?
What I'd like to do is set up.
I don't have a business card with me.
Cycles that we have all the not going to be that many.
Always a little back of,
Bob's?
Because then it keeps people from. Well, yeah.
Or become a valid name for.
Typically, what we like to do is try to get as few cycles as possible to cover everybody's needs. So, and then you'll need one cycle that doesn't have UV drying, so for low temperature plastic as well. That's another thing. Yeah. So I think you could have like 3 machines set up here. Correct. Plastic washing and one is plastic washing. You want to have the number of like that way. Or you can yeah, no, more than that. You're waiting for a cheaper washer. There's another washer that's across the hall. Here. Yeah. So all those parts.
This is a new phone with this company. New phone number, so I get off phone calls. And I always answer it just to tell them you're not getting any money.
We're not quite in business yet.
This is in my bill. Call whoever you try to call.
Yeah, what I say is the next
Absolutely.
I'll sit back down.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no. Thank you.